Welcome to SR Concepts. In this video, we will discuss about the remaining methods of separation of different components from a mixture. So let us start with, first of all, the separation of a mixture of two miscible liquids. Now the term miscible liquids indicates those liquids which dissolve in each other, which mix completely in each other, those liquids which mix completely in each other without showing any chemical reaction. Okay, so the best example for this is the mixture of water and alcohol. When you will mix water and alcohol, they will dissolve completely, and you will not be able to find out where is water and where is alcohol. Now the task is to separate the alcohol from water. The alcohol from water. Now activity number 2.8. First of all, we will look at this activity. What is written here? Let us try to separate acetone and water from their mixture. So we can also take acetone in place of alcohol because acetone is also miscible in water. So if we take a mixture of acetone and water, right, what we will do, how we will separate? Take the mixture in a distillation flask, fit it with a thermometer, arrange the apparatus as shown in figure number 2.9. Heat the mixture slowly, keeping a close watch at the thermometer. The acetone vaporizes, condenses in the condenser and can be collected from the condenser outlet. Water is left behind the distillation flask. Now let's understand this all what is being shown here. Look at figure number 2.9. What we are going to do, first of all, we will take this round bottom flask. Here is the flask, and we will take a mixture of acetone and water. Here you can see mixture of acetone and water has been taken in the flask. Now you can see that the flask is connected to a condenser tube. This is whole condenser tube, and there is a beaker put here. This is the stand. We have tied the stand here, and this is the thermometer, right? So when we will heat the mixture by the help of a burner, here you can see this is the burner, right? What will happen? That the temperature of both water and acetone will start increasing. Now you know that different liquids have different boiling points. Suppose acetone has lower boiling point but water has higher boiling point, means water has 100 degrees Celsius, and suppose acetone has lower temperature as compared to lower boiling point as compared to water. If the difference in the boiling point of acetone and water is more than 25 Kelvin, means suppose water's boiling point is 100 degrees Celsius and the boiling point of acetone is suppose that 70 degrees Celsius or 60 degrees Celsius, right? Then in such case, when the difference in the two boiling points is more than 25 Kelvin, we will use such a apparatus as shown here. What will happen? When the temperature rise, suppose the boiling point of acetone is something around 60 degree Celsius, right? So first of all, the temperature will reach 60 degree, and at this temperature the acetone will start vaporizing. Its vapors will rise, and then the vapors will enter into the condenser tube. What is condenser? This is the condenser in which cold water keeps circulating. Here you can see cold water in, and water outlet is here, means from one side the cold water will enter, from the other side the hot water will keep away. Okay, so when the hot vapors of acetone will enter into the condenser, they will cool down because they will come in contact with the wall of the condenser, which are in the contact of cold water. So when they will cool down, you know, when the vapors of any liquid cool down, or whenever any gas cools down below a certain temperature, it converts into liquid state. So definitely the acetone vapors, when they will pass through the condenser, they will cool down, they will get condensed and convert into liquid acetone, and the liquid acetone will collect here in the beaker. But you know that right now the temperature is around 60 degrees centigrade. That is, suppose this is the boiling point of acetone. So at this temperature only acetone will convert into vapors and the vapors will be collected here. Now gradually, if the temperature is maintained here only, then all the acetone will convert into vapors and will get separated in the form of acetone here in this beaker. But the water will remain here only because this is not the boiling point of water. So this is how we can say that acetone is separated from water. This method is called simple distillation method. So this is called simple distillation method. All right. So let us read something about this. This method is called distillation. It is used to separate the components of a mixture containing two miscible liquids that boil without decomposition and have sufficient difference in their boiling points. This is very important. This is the principle of this method. To separate a mixture of two or more miscible liquids for which the difference in the boiling point is less than 25 Kelvin, fractional distillation process is used. So another variant of this method is called fractional distillation. Now if the difference in the boiling points is more than 25 degree Kelvin, right, 25 Kelvin, right, then we will use simple distillation. But if the difference is not so much, means if difference is less than 25 Kelvin, then we will use fractional distillation method. How will it be done? Let us check. Actually, first of all, let us understand what are those liquids which are separated by the help of fractional distillation. Let's take a few examples. For example, separation of different gases from air and different fractions from petroleum products. So we have discussed in class here that petroleum is a crude oil and there are around 6-7 fractions, different substances which are separated from petroleum, right? So those fractions are separated by the help of fractional distillation. In the same way, different gases like nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, these are also separated by the process of fractional distillation. All right, so what we actually do in fractional distillation, we use this almost same apparatus. Only one difference is that in fractional distillation we use another column, an additional column, that is called fractionating column. Here you can see this is the fractionating column, and you can see that the fractionating column is filled with small glass balls. They're called glass beads, right? So these actually these beads provide a surface for the vapors to cool and condense repeatedly, and in this way the liquids which have lesser difference in their boiling points, even those liquids are separated by this method. So addition of fractionating column is done, right, in that way. In that case we call it fractional distillation. However, the apparatus may be different types of different kinds. For industrial purposes we use different types of apparatuses, right, for fractional distillation. So dear students, now let's understand about the separation of components of a air, means how we can separate or obtain different gases from air. There is a method. How do we do? First of all, we convert whole the air into liquid air, right? We cool it down, we compress it down, right? And when its temperature becomes very low, then all the gases of the air like oxygen, nitrogen and carbon dioxide, they become liquefied, they convert into liquid. So now air is in liquid form, that is called liquefied air or liquid air. So what we do, first of all, air is compressed and cooled by increasing pressure and decreasing temperature. Then we get liquid air. Now this liquid air contains the liquid form of nitrogen, liquid form of oxygen, liquid form of carbon dioxide. Now these are the liquids, and you know that liquids can be separated by distillation process. Here we will use fractional distillation process. How we will do? We will allow to warm up slowly, we will allow them to warm up, means we will increase their temperature in a fractional distillation column. When we will increase the temperature, gradually their temperature will reach their boiling points. Once again, the gases will be separated in the same manner as acetone was separated from water. The gas having lower boiling point will first evaporate and will get separated in the form of will get separated, right? And the gas or the component of the air that has higher means boiling point, it will be separated later on. So here you see, when we will cool the air, right, we will have to cool the air even below minus 196. Okay, so suppose that we have cooled the air below 200 degrees Celsius. Now we will increase its temperature, right? So first of all, the temperature of minus 196 degrees centigrade will reach, and this is the boiling point. Here you can see minus 196 is the boiling point of nitrogen. So the nitrogen will be separated. Then we will once again increase the temperature, and the temperature will reach minus 186. So this temperature is actually higher than this temperature. So when the temperature will reach minus 186 degree, then the argon gas will be separated, and finally the oxygen will remain here. Here you can see the apparatus is shown. How we will do it? First of all, we will put pressure on the gas. Here you can see air under pressure, and it will be compressed. So in that way, this when it will be compressed, when we will put pressure on it, it will become hot. But we will pass this compressed gas through this one, right? Here you can see freezing cold water is passing through this circular tube, right? So when the hot air will come in contact with it, it will cool down, and when cold and compressed air will pass through this box, this apparatus, right, it will convert into liquid gas. Now when we will compress and cool the gas, the carbon dioxide will convert into dry crystals, right, and then it will be called dry ice. Okay, and it will be separated by this separator. This is like a filter, right? So by the help of this separator, carbon dioxide will be separating in a solid state. Okay, now the remaining liquid will be passing through the expansion jet. This is the jet where we will reduce the pressure of the liquefied air or liquid air. So when we will reduce the pressure, and when we will allow to warm up, right, first of all nitrogen will be out at minus 196, and argon will out at its own boiling point. Finally one gas will remain in liquid state, that is oxygen. So the liquid oxygen will be separated here in this box. So this is the method how we separate, and this is a type of fractional distillation. This is a type of fractional distillation. Thank you for watching this video. In the next video we will discuss about how we can obtain pure copper sulfate from an impure sample. Thank you.